Hey, and a good Monday evening. Chris Smith here for Panhandle Weather Live at 6. Meteorologist Dan Nyman joining me from the other side of the bridge, or I guess technically it's like two bridges away, over in town. How's everything going today? It is. Yeah, the weather cat, who is normally fond of gallivanting around, has been just kind of chilling in front of the chroma wall for a good chunk of the day today, content with the carpet and not going outside.
Yeah, definitely going to be a night to stay inside and watch football. Unbelievable how cold the wind chills are outside already.
Oh my goodness, yeah, we're already looking at wind chills into the 40s, dropping into the 30s. Although no football for me because I have YouTube TV. Oh, thank you very much.
Unlucky.
I know. So here's what's going on weather-wise across Northwest Florida this evening. Cold conditions as you look out over across the Marlar Bridge. If you ignore that top line up there, it's like, yeah, it looks pretty good out there. But when you look at that top line, you're like, it's 43 degrees. That's cold. Winds are out in the northwest at 20 miles an hour. That is going to continue to make it feel quite ugly this evening. Meanwhile, as we take a live look out over Panama City Beach, Sharkies, no one dining out this evening. We just had been looking at tons of folks out there enjoying dinner over the past few days with mild temperatures. That's simply not the case right now. With the cold air that has returned to Northwest Florida. And no one's hanging out there in Panama City either as we look out over across the bay this evening. You can see the water moving around a good bit there as we've seen the wind whipping it around over the course of the day today. Temperatures right now currently into the 40s across all of Northwest Florida. We did briefly pop up into the 50s for a little bit today, but look at these numbers right now. Compared to 24 hours ago, 23 degrees colder, 21 degrees colder, 24, 25, 25 degrees colder. We are all a lot colder than we were this time yesterday. So as far as the winds, still blowing pretty briskly, anywhere from on the low side, 4 miles an hour and 5 miles an hour, but still a lot of us into that 15 to 20 mile an hour range, especially down along the waterfront. Wind chill numbers as of 6 o'clock will be right now. We're currently looking at wind chills 30s inland, 40s along the coastline, and these numbers are only going to continue to drop as we head through the overnight hours tonight. So watch these temperatures dropping down quickly into the 20s and 30s for feels like temperatures. As we pass midnight tonight, feels like temperatures could flirt with the teens at times. Places like Bonifay and Chipley and over into Crestview, Mariana will keep 20s to near 30 degrees right along the immediate coastline. That's what it's going to feel like as you wake up on Tuesday morning. Not going to be pretty across our region. Live Doppler radar, there you see all the purple on the map. That is a freeze warning. That includes pretty much everybody. I think when it's all said and done, probably everyone that isn't within about a half mile to a mile of the beach will freeze tonight. And if you're within that half mile to mile of the beach, I don't know if I would risk it. I would go ahead and take those plant and pet precautions for sure. For more on this mess here, folks in the south saw snow today, Dan.
Yeah, it was, I think, a welcome sight seeing some snowfall out across parts of maybe not quite the south, getting close to the south there, Chris, as we continue to see pretty cold conditions, not exclusive to just us here in the Panhandle. Snow totals today, well, not the highest we've ever seen, but it is early for this time of year to start picking up on some 6 or 7 inch totals up into the mountains, into parts of West Virginia there. You've got them over towards eastern Tennessee as well. Mike Witcher at East Tennessee Weather showing some pictures earlier today to us of 2 or 3 inches of snowfall. Then flurries elsewhere through Kentucky. As you go further and further towards the north, though, a little more impact as far as snow is concerned. And that continues to be the story as we get through the next several several hours. Big low pressure system is continuing to work its way slowly eastward across the northern portions of Michigan there and into New York later on tomorrow. But as that happens, you see all the blue happening right there. Snow will continue, and lake effect snow could be something, Chris, that we see not only across the Lake Michigan area, but Lake Erie as well, producing some there. So there's going to be a lot of winners and losers when the snowfall is done. Fortunately for us, no snowfall in the forecast. I know a lot of people have been sharing some mixed opinions about that. We got it last year, and now I think hopes are a little bit higher that we continue to see snow at least once a year. We'll see. Not from this cool down. Things are going to warm up quickly before we ever get a chance to see moisture returning. Did get some pictures in, though, from snowfall, and not all of it too far to the north. David Wesley sharing a photo from earlier. Snow flurries in Atlanta earlier today. Cool enough and a little moisture there, and you got some snowflakes falling at least. He said he got a notification, I think, Chris, from the Panhandle weather app just before the snow began to fall. And here's Jim up in Ontario, a little more meaningful snow coming down there. The first of many opportunities, I'm sure, this year. Once again, you can download the Panhandle weather app as well. iOS or Android. Google Play Store, I believe, is free to download. You can submit your photos of the weather as well. Probably not too many pictures coming in from today, Chris, from outside. I would imagine that a lot of folks were probably keeping it indoors, but we'll see. If you have any great photos from the weather, be sure to send them to us here over the next few hours. Your planner into the next few, as Chris talked about, temperatures continuing to cool down. We're going to drop down into the 30s by 10, although it already feels like that for most of us outside, into the 20s for many inland spots. Briefly tomorrow morning, fortunately, temperatures will start to turn the corner, maybe not so much for Tuesday afternoon, but as you get towards Wednesday, those low temperatures starting to rebound a little more so. By the end of this week, things will feel a whole lot different. And of course, Chris, we'll have more on that forecast coming up in a few minutes. Definitely a lot of changes to talk about. We'll see if we can get some rain back into the forecast as well.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Now is a great time for a new Toyota, where you can get 1.99% APR on a new Camry and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 3.49% APR on a new Corolla and get $500 in holiday cash. Get 1.99% on a new Tacoma, plus $1,000 in holiday cash. And 1.99% on a new Tundra, plus you'll get $1,000 in holiday cash. Visit our lot or browse online at Panama City Toyota.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Now, from your trusted team of meteorologists at Panhandle Weather, this is your evening forecast update.
Okay, and good evening, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday evening, braving the cold temperatures, and for many of us tonight, going to be dropping below freezing. Isn't that right, Dan?
Yeah, I think I think the story is well documented at this point. We've been talking about it for the last several days. I know over the weekend, everybody was like, what are they talking about? It's beautiful outside. But it went very quickly last night from around 80 just before sunset down to about 50 when I stepped outside to take the trash out. And then I remember hearing the wind just before going to bed, and I was like, oh boy, here we go. It is not going to be a comfortable day outside tomorrow, which it certainly didn't turn out to be today.
No. You know, the one thing that struck me is my son got baptized yesterday, and they did it in the Gulf, and the water temperature, I'm not saying it was warm, but it was 74 degrees. And today when I was, putting in the information for some of the forecast stuff, it's 69 degrees. So we lost 5 degrees, which is pretty tough to do when you're talking about like, a big body of water like the Gulf. So it already lost 5 degrees from this time yesterday.
Well, some good news from that. I think it'll make it a little harder for us to surge back the humidity maybe a little more quickly, especially with the damage we'll do again tonight. But I'm sure eventually Florida's full of surprises. We'll get that water temperature back up with the forecast over the long range here still trending at least warmer than normal.
Yeah, that's the thing is by Wednesday, it's already going to be average and will be above average probably by Thursday and on into the weekend. Let's take a look at your forecast headlines. Freezing start tomorrow morning for most of us. Now, there'll be less wind tomorrow. It'll be briefly windy in the morning, but the rest of the day will be much less windy. By the afternoon, winds will probably be closer to 5 miles an hour. The rest of the week, we're going to be quick to warm up. So as I mentioned, by Wednesday, we'll be close to 70. By Thursday, we'll be into the mid to upper 70s. And then dry weather for Saturday, maybe some storms on Sunday. We'll have to kind of see how that shakes out. It's a possibility, or it could hold off until later Sunday and on into Monday. As we mentioned, freeze warning in effect. That includes all of Northwest Florida as the possibility for freezing temperatures tonight. I do think within about a half mile to a mile of the beaches, you'll stay probably 33 to 35 degrees tonight, but it's close enough. I would go ahead and take those precautions just in case. But the vast majority of us here will have to deal with those freezing temperatures tonight. Our low temperatures since midnight, 30s inland, 40s down along the coastline. So we had a nice cold taste this morning, but it's going to be quite a bit colder as you wake up tomorrow morning than what it was this morning. Right now, 40s across all of Northwest Florida, lower 40s inland, middle 40s to upper 40s right along the immediate coastline. Our winds still fairly breezy. You see them blowing out of the northwest, anywhere from about 5 to 15 miles an hour. As we move through the overnight hours tonight, quiet weather across our region heading into your Tuesday. We'll see nothing but sunshine across our area. One thing I want you to look at here as we head into Tuesday evening, look at this. We got some clouds, maybe a little bit of moisture returning Tuesday night into Wednesday, and that's going to just completely flip the dynamic. So Wednesday morning, inland areas could get close to freezing, but the beaches could be closer to 50 degrees as that moisture begins to quickly return, and that's going to have a big impact on our weather. So you see our wind, this is tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, 10 miles an hour, and then look at that. We go down to sub 5 miles an hour by the afternoon hours. So again, windy tonight, windy kind of when you wake up, but then after that, the wind really dies down, and we'll see our winds on Tuesday shift to a little bit more out of the northeast. And then look at this right here. That's an onshore wind. That's what I'm talking about. That onshore wind will bring that milder weather back, bam, just like that as we head into your Wednesday. And that onshore wind continues throughout the day on Wednesday. So it's only going to be getting warmer and more humid as we move over the course of the week. Low temperatures tonight, look at that, 20s inland, 25 in Crestview, 28 Mariana, 28 in Vernon. I know some of our citrus farmers, southwestern Georgia, back up into the Panhandle, really nervous about tonight with these 20s expected. But look down along the coastline, 36 at Tyndall, 37 Inlet Beach, 36 degrees in Destin. But again, that's within about a mile of the beach. Everyone else is going to be down at least at 32 degrees as we head overnight tonight. So the kids will still have to bundle up tomorrow. I will say, even though it'll be freezing to start and we'll be way below average at 56, that 56 will feel a lot better than it did today because it will be less windy and a few degrees warmer. But I think, we'll start feeling a little bit better about it. There you see our high temperatures for Tuesday into the 50s. Also tomorrow, Veterans Day. So that's why That's right. I didn't need to show the school forecast. I forgot about that because it's Veterans Day. Kids don't have school tomorrow. Now, temperatures. Look at that for Veterans Day. 40s to start, then climbing up into the 50s. But again, sunshine. So it will be chilly. You'll need a jacket. But the alternative, let's say if it was going to rain or something like that, we'll take the cold temperatures. At least it's going to be dry for your Veterans Day. Then Wednesday morning, look at that. This is what I'm talking about. Look at these temperatures, 31, 33, 35, 36. But look, 47, 50, 47, 42 degrees down along the coastline thanks to that return wind. Your high temperatures Wednesday right around 70 degrees. Now, for more on the cold weather and this lake effect setup, we go to meteorologist Dan Nyman.
Yeah, Chris, I guess the kids are still doing some schoolwork at home tomorrow by the sounds of it.
Oh, my kids will be doing some reading or something. No fun to be had.
Yeah. Definitely keep them busy, especially before I get there. Let's make sure that they're busy and not distracting. But a good evening as well to, we have Anna in the chat. Tracy's back, said she went for a walk tonight in Mexico Beach, Chris, and definitely is not sweating. We had Lewis asking if he should drip his pipes. Probably not a bad idea. Certainly wouldn't hurt with the forecast for temperatures this evening. Unless you live with a view of the Gulf water, it's going to get down to at least freezing. And then Joyce jumping in here, and I've missed many names. Thanks for all of you guys joining us here this evening. As far as that forecast, like Chris talked about, we are going to continue to see some pretty robust wintry weather up across mainly into the northeastern part of the country. Of course, we're feeling it, but they'll be seeing it as well with the snow flurries still possible and some accumulations continuing in other locations as well. Lake effect snow going to continue to be a big story too. This is a pretty early freeze, even as you look across the country, and the intensity of the freeze is pretty high as well. All that considered, the Great Lakes water temperatures have not even cooled significantly whatsoever. So now you have that warm water, all the moisture in the air, and then of course the freezing air temperature itself. It's going to produce some pretty high snow totals in a short period of time. Not everybody will see it, but places that get that long fetch of wind or the wind moving for long periods of time over the water here, definitely going to pick up slightly more significant snow totals given the quick moving nature of this cold air. You'll definitely see up into parts of New York, Pennsylvania, closer to home for me, isolated spots approaching that 6 to 10 inches worth of snow. For us, the air far too dry to see any precipitation. That's one of the things that helps us get cold so quickly. And you'll see here, we continue to keep around that northwesterly wind, and that's what's helped to tap into that much cooler air mass up towards Canada and the Arctic regions and drag it down towards us over the last couple of days. As we get in through the next several days, though, that wind will begin to shift. And of course, as Chris mentioned, we'll see less and less of an impact from this cold. The moisture continues to stream through to the north of us, so impactful weather continues there for us. Look what's happening on the western part of the country right now. You've got that ridge of high pressure starting to develop above normal temperatures even as you get through Los Angeles and Las Vegas up towards Denver as well. They've seen hardly no snowfall through Colorado so far this year. All of it kind of trapped towards the eastern part of the country with that dip in the jet stream where the colors are blue here on this U.S. map. And as things continue to move eastward as they do, we'll start to see this pattern change from the trough and the cold air to the ridge and the warmer air, and you'll see that on your 7-day temperature trend here. We dig out of this cold Arctic blast pretty quickly. It's made a lot of headlines, but it's not sticking around for long, as by Thursday, temperatures right around where they should be for the time of year, and will kind of sit in that seasonal 70s range for the rest of the upcoming week. So a couple more cool nights to go, or downright cold nights, I should say. Then Thursday, more of a cool night, and by the time we get into this weekend, things may be turning just a little bit sticky once again. You'll certainly see that a little more evident on the muggy meter here as we start to pick up on dew points from the teens and 20s. That's one of the things that's elevated that fire concern across the area to start off this week. That becomes no longer an issue by Wednesday night. The rest of this week, not feeling like summertime by any stretch of the imagination, but much more humid by comparison, enough to keep temperatures comfortable as you wake up in the morning. You'll probably reach for more of a light coat or just kind of deal with it for a couple hours because temperatures will continue to rise from those 50s for morning lows. As far as rain goes, Chris, Sorry, we're still having a hard time really finding anything of significant impact. Of course, this past weekend, we did have some of those stronger thunderstorms in the forecast, but even those didn't produce significant rainfall totals. And as we continue to look ahead in the forecast, I think dry as a whole continues to be the theme.
Yeah, we're not going to see any appreciable rainfall expected over the next week. So the drought situation going to continue to get a little bit worse across our area as we move throughout this week without much rainfall. Now, as we look at that weekend forecast, we'll see mostly clear skies Saturday, more clouds on Sunday. There will be a chance of some showers and thunderstorms. It remains to be seen when, I mean, this is a week out, but the general thinking is maybe late day or during the evening and overnight hours would be your next chance of rain. And that's what we're going to be seeing. High pressure this week, just kind of meandering across the southeast, keeping us mainly high and dry with a gradual warming trend. But out to our west is our next weather maker, and that will swing to the east and give us at least a chance of some showers. This is Saturday night at 9 o'clock, so it's over into Texas, so it still has a ways to go, but we think maybe by Sunday night it could be here. As we look at that 7-day forecast, cold weather for 1.5 more days, we'll say, and then the warm up begins Wednesday, 70s by Thursday, and that lasts right on through the weekend. And there you see some rainfall chances, but not anything that's overly high there Sunday into Monday. But yeah, tonight is the night for the cold weather, but don't let tomorrow night surprise you if you're up in like Chipley, Bonifay, Mariana, Grand Ridge, Sneed, those will be areas that I think have some potential to see freezing temperatures for one more night. It'd be a light freeze, but definitely there'll be frost involved there. The beaches won't be anywhere close to it.
Yeah, and as I take a look back towards the chat here, Chris, on our 6 o'clock show this evening, we had a question from Elaine asking about Thanksgiving. It's still, pretty far out, looking that far ahead, but I did just coincidentally take some time today and look at some of the long-range patterns that we're going to see. Obviously, Chris, we've seen a lot of this from the Climate Prediction Center. That deep color orange that you're seeing on the touchboard behind you is that likelihood of warmer than average temperatures. It kind of looks like as we get through this cold spell and then start looking off into the distance, these troughs start to have a harder time breaking through a ridge of high pressure that's going to kind of set up shop across the eastern Gulf. And as that happens, we might get some rain opportunities, some slow moving fronts that kind of start to fizzle as they move across the panhandle. But definitely, if you were going to place a bet, since betting's been all the rage, especially in sports recently, we would probably bet on some warmer than average temperatures towards Thanksgiving, but no, I'm not an NBA player or a Cleveland Guardians player, so I guess I could say that.
It's well, in two, we have a weak La Nina that's forecast to persist this winter. And now that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see hard, fast La Nina conditions the whole time, but typically La Nina is warm and dry for the northern Gulf Coast. So to see a warm and dry forecast would, on average, would not be surprising as we move through a majority of the winter season.
Any other, just making sure I didn't miss anybody here. Things are moving quickly there for a second, but ultimately, Chris, I think a pretty typical forecast now as we get into the next couple of days. Things are going to feel a lot better soon. So it was a lot of consternation about the cold, but fortunately this time around, it really is just 48 hours that are right awful for Floridians. And then afterwards, generally pretty nice week. I think a lot to look forward to as we get towards Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, I see Brad in there and Joyce and Ann. Shannon's in there, Elaine. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. We certainly appreciate it. Let's see. I recently crossed over 60,000 followers on my Facebook page, and the Panhandle weather page is, let's see, we are very, very close here. Let's see, Panhandle weather. We're at 14,988 is where we are on that. I can pull this up right here. So anyway, like almost 15,000, and like y'all on, what was it, Thursday? or Friday. My birthday was on Friday. Like, I mean, come on, guys. Y'all were unbelievable with the well wishes. I really appreciate that. And of course, I posted about my son's baptism yesterday, and rightfully so. That blew my birthday posts out of the water. Super proud of him. But y'all have been your support, and I haven't checked the app numbers today, Dan, but we have to be getting up there close to 10,000 app downloads. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. It is unbelievable that anybody cares about a weather page that just talks about the weather all the time, you know, especially with how quiet things have been. It's something that's a lot easier to forget to even care about, but we really do appreciate the support. And I guess we'll throw a shameless plug in there really quickly. There's the QR code to download the app once again. Downloading, of course, supports us and what we're trying to accomplish here as we continue to make progress to kind of fund this adventure. We're having a lot of fun, Chris, but of course, it also takes the money to keep it moving for us.
Yeah,
so downloading that app does go a long way to help out.
Don't be surprised if you don't see me walking in your lobby at some point and saying, like, do you like the channel? Like, well, then let's advertise. I spent a good bit of my afternoon today messaging people, trying to drum up some advertising and stuff like that. And y'all have been great. We can't wait to continue to do it. And like yesterday is what, like, that's where this channel is going to sing, is with storms. You know, we were the only ones that covered the storms yesterday and streamed them for, I don't know, I was on for probably close to an hour, I think. You know, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to own bad weather. And so we're going to be the place to go on your Roku app, your YouTube channel, watch it on TV, and soon Fire and Apple TV will have those as well.
All in all, another fun night here at Panhandle Weather, and thanks again for stopping by.
And we filled 30 minutes.
What was that, Chris? It's amazing that that's even possible. We talk too much. Thanks for spending your evening with us. Go Eagles tonight. That's what I'm doing just after this.
Y'all have a wonderful night.